Hi, Matthew Engel here with Steve Watts, Vista Sotheby's, Watts and Associates. And if you like to keep your pulse on the market and get your news source, it really depends on who you're listening to what the market is doing. And so you can listen to one outlet and they'll tell you the market is this, and then you listen to another outlet and you can tell the market is doing that. So for us, it's really important to give facts, not fear, and to be honest with, hey, what is the market actually doing and where's it going to go? And to consult on that level. And so, Steve, you've been through almost 40 years. You've seen the market do lots of stuff.
Multiple corrections in those 40 years.
As you think about the market, as you really sit back, reflect, analyze, where do you see the market going?
It's a great question, and none of us really know, and legends are made and history's made over time.
That's right.
But I am going to tell you that looking at the statistics of what the market's been, and there's a lot of factors. One is the rising interest rates. We know the Fed is going to do it again. Interest rates will rise.
Yep.
Number two, there's this big conversation about a scary word, inflation. So inflation's filtered into our marketplace today. So I really want to reference a little bit on both the buyer and the seller side. There's a graph, and I track this organization called Case-Shiller. I've respected their information. They're a very national research firm that over and analyzes trends in the real estate market for developers and for large cities. So consequently, if you look at the graph that you have that's showing, you can see that back in 2006 and 2007, we had hit a peak of the market.
Yep.
The question is, that was a bubble. We know that the market corrected. It declined tremendously in that period of time, as much as 40%. I was actively involved. I had been selling real estate for probably 20, 25 years. Nobody anticipated this correction, but it did. And so $1 million home at the end of this, which as you can see on the graph, was 2009 to 2010. It had fallen 40% in value.
Oh.
So
scary times for a homeowner.
It was very difficult, and especially if you were planning towards the end of your retirement years and you wanted to get out and sell your home and maybe make a move. We've seen a lot of folks leaving the state of California. It's something to really start to consider, because as you can see what the market's done since 2012, this has now been 10 years. We've had an amazing growth period in our real estate market. So the question is, are we hitting housing bubble 2? We don't know, but I will tell you, there's a lot of indicators that are telling us the market is going to start to slow down and soften. We're feeling it with longer marketing times. We're feeling it with people that are having price reductions we never saw in the last few years. So there is some concern. My recommendation, if you're a seller in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe move that timetable up. Take a good hard look at where you're at. And if you really do want to sell, now would probably be wiser than later.
So if you are a seller and you sell, and we do have a housing bubble, what happens? What's the process for a seller as they're chasing the market, as you say?
Well, what we experienced, and we had many listings back in the peak of the market, which was 6 and 7, we chased some of those listings all the way down to their loan amount because we didn't get ahead of the price reductions. Granted, inventory's still low. As inventory increases, there's more buyer choices. Rising interest rates makes the affordability for buyers harder. It's not fear, it's real statistics and a real direction the market has set itself to go. Everything's going to go down. It'll eventually come back. And if you're a new buyer, you'll never time the market to be right. Interest rates may rise, so now is even a great time to buy unless you're planning on selling in a year or two. I would hesitate and maybe not buy now if you're planning to move in the next year or two. So strong market.
That's good advice,
Yep, and you got to be wise about when to time and move.
Okay. Thank you.